Hello, everyone. My name is Pharmacist Michael, and I had an interview scheduled tonight, but I decided because I rescheduled that interview that I would come on here and give you some tips of what I have done on YouTube. This is going to be primarily for people who are just starting out on the platform, but hi, Marissa. I actually started YouTube really full time in October. And I want to give you guys some tips of what you should do and maybe what you shouldn't do. And some of the courses out there are going to tell you that you need to put a video out every single day. And I'm going to start by saying I think that's a mistake. And I'm going to tell you why. There's good reasons to do that and not so good reasons to do it. The good reason is you get more practice making videos. Okay. So you're going to need practice. You have not seen me in a while. I know, Marissa, it's because I've been on here. You could watch my YouTube videos and see me. I haven't been on TikTok. That's why you haven't seen me. I've almost reached my goal on here. I think I'll make it by Saturday. So I'm super excited about that. Anyway, what I have learned through a lot of trial and error, listening to other YouTubers and, blogs and doing my own research is really the easiest way to succeed on YouTube is know who your audience is, know what they want to see, and pay attention to your analytics. And these are three very important things. So I'm going to tell you that my biggest, most popular video happened within 2 months of me starting. And because I didn't know what I was doing, I just thought I'm super good at this and I'm going to just ride the wave and everything's going to be fine. The problem is it didn't work that way. And I still have yet to get a video that's that popular. Now, what I did learn now, though, is when I go back and I watch that video, there's things that I see that give me clues of what my audience wants to see. So there's a lot of different ways to make a video. You can get a script and read from a script. You can take a camera and walk around by the ocean. You can just talk like I'm doing now on a live stream. But what does your audience really want to see? The people that are watching you, what do they like? And that's the secret to this whole thing, because the way YouTube works is it shows your videos to people. And if they watch it, it shows it to more people. And if they watch it, it shows it to more people and more people and more people. If you put a video out there that you think is great, but nobody likes it, nobody's going to watch it. And if nobody watches it, it's going to die very soon. So what else have I learned? I've learned that equipment's important to a point, but it's not the end all be all. So do you need a $1,000 camera? No. Do you need decent sound? Yes. So I would say sound is probably one of the most important things. Do you need distraction-free areas? I think this might be even more important than good sound. It kind of goes hand in hand. You need to have a space that's not noisy and distracting, because people don't want to be distracted. They're just going to go watch somebody else. So where I live now, I've got an apartment and they rent out this big house next door. And a lot of times in the evenings around now, they're super loud over there. It's people playing ping pong in the garage. They're drinking, they're partying, they're on vacation. So they're doing all these things. So what I've learned is if I get up at 4 a.m. while they're asleep, I have two things going for me at 4 a.m. One, there's no noise, but two, there's no light. So I can set up my lights exactly like I want them without having to worry about the light coming in from outside, casting shadows in weird places. And I can just set up my lights like I want them. So that's what I have started doing. What other things would I tell you to do and not to do? Well, like I said, if I was starting all over right now, I would come up with a schedule. First of all, I would pre-record before I even started. I didn't do that. And, I was constantly stressed out because I thought I had to do a video every day. And I would, I had working full time and I'd come home and I'd rush through trying to get this stuff done. And the problem is when you rush, your product is not as good as if you take your time. So I would say, come up with a schedule. Right now, my schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I do interviews in between if I can schedule them, because that I don't have a lot of control over. I just have to kind of find the people to interview. Whenever I can get them to come on, I do it. And I haven't had an interview in, I think, 2 weeks now, just because it's hard to find people that want to interview. And then everybody's got different schedules, right? So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do a regular video. And then on Saturdays, I've started doing my soft music video to help people sleep. So that is either Saturday or Sunday. I usually record those and put those together on Friday nights so I can release them sometime Saturday morning, because that's when they seem to do the best. So I'm doing 4 videos a week now. And I have learned that doing 3 videos a week gets me just as much watch time as doing 5. And I think the reason for that is because I spend more time recording, I spend more time editing, and I spend more time with B-roll. So I'm spending more time building the video out like I want it. And more people respond to it. The last few videos I've done have all got over 100 views. One of them got 700. So, for me, that's a lot. When I first started, I'd be lucky to get 50. 50 was a good video. Now, if I don't get to 100, I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? So those are some of the things that I have learned on here. Other things I would say is, whatever your niche is, if you're a gamer, if you are, whatever you are, let's say you're a gamer and you want to do gaming content. Make sure you find people who are doing it and watch them, see what they're doing. Even if you don't like their personalities, you can learn a lot from people that have already become popular. So another mistake I made is at first, I didn't spend enough time watching other people. I was too worried about making my content the way I wanted it. But remember, you're not making content for yourself. You're making content for your audience. And I'm a health and wellness channel. So what I have done is I've looked and I've watched other people, where are they? Or if they're interviewing people, how are they doing it? What kind of questions are they asking? How do they interact with their audience? When are they doing B-roll? If they're not doing B-roll, or if they are doing videos, how are they structuring them? What do their thumbnails look like? How are they titling their videos? All of those things are super important, because you need to get the people to click, and that's your title and your thumbnail. And then once they get in there, you need to keep them watching. So how do you do that? If you can learn how to get people to click on your thumbnail and you can keep them on your video, that's all you need to be able to do. Now, it sounds a lot easier than it really is. That's super difficult to do. But that really is what this is all about. It's about keeping people watching your videos. It's about, it's important that you're doing what you want to do, because you don't want to burn out. I mean, I'm not going to come on here and do gaming content because I'm not a gamer. I don't play games. That doesn't interest me. So that's not going to work, right? So I like health and wellness. That's what I do. I'm a pharmacist. I spend my time helping people be healthy. So it just makes sense that that's what I would do. But I need to do it in a way that my audience responds best to. Interviews have done very well on my channel. And I think that's because people that come on, and I use StreamYard, by the way. If you're going to interview, I strongly recommend it. They're not paying me for this. I'm just telling you, that's what I'm using right now. And it's very easy to send people a link and get them to come on, and you can interview them from their computer or phone or whatever they want to use, right? So StreamYard is a great tool. But what makes the interviews good, I think, for my audience is I can find people that have diabetes or gastroparesis or, lupus, different disease states. I've interviewed people with autistic children as well. And there's a lot of people out there in YouTube land that either have the same diseases or know somebody that does, and maybe some of them have just been diagnosed. So if I can bring somebody on here and I can talk to them about how they overcame their disease, what have they done, and more importantly, what mistakes have they made, then that is giving a lot of it's giving a lot to my audience, right? Because if I was diagnosed with lupus tomorrow, I mean, yeah, I can go on to Google and I can read, but it's a whole lot better if I find someone that's had it for 20 years because they can tell me the things that I should be doing, the things that I shouldn't be doing, what they have done in the past that's worked, what they've done in the past that hasn't worked, kind of like I'm doing right now on here about the videos. So over time, I have learned by doing this that, like I said, it's not about what you want, it's about what your audience wants. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you is the most important thing. If you're just starting YouTube and you have just got here, hi, Jetty May, don't get frustrated. Now, that's very easy for me to say to you, but it's very hard to actually do because this is one of those things where you can spend 10 hours making a video and might get 10 views. And you're going to think, I can't do this. This is never going to work for me. It's too hard. This takes too much time. But what I will tell you is the longer you spend doing this, and the more you practice editing, and the more you practice filming, and the more you practice your titles and your thumbnails and all these things, the easier it becomes and the better your videos will get. If you make it a point to make each video better than your last one, if you study other videos, and the most important thing, if you watch your analytics, you are going to be able to do this and you're going to be able to do it well, but it's not going to happen overnight. I almost made it to, hi Kim, hi Jetty May. I almost made it to 4,000 hours. I will probably hit it tomorrow or the next day. It has taken me since October to do this. I got the subscribers pretty quickly, but the watch time has been difficult. I know Jetty May got there a lot faster than I did. And that's another thing. Don't ever compare yourself to other people. If I would have compared myself to her, she's here in the audience, you can see her, then I would have been frustrated and quit a long time ago. But we're totally different people. We have totally different content. Our audience is different, right? And it's the same thing on TikTok or any other social media platform. The best thing you can do is make yourself better. and don't worry about what someone else is doing. The only thing you want to do is find people in your niche and watch their videos. Find the people that have, 100,000, 200,000, 600,000 followers. If you want to do videos like Mr. Beast, watch Mr. Beast videos. He's the best one you're going to find doing that type of video. If that's what you want to do, that's who you should be watching. But don't expect to get Mr. Beast views in an hour. It took him 10 years before anybody even knew who he was. 10 years. Took him 10 years. So even though it looks easy when you see these videos, it's not easy. I listen to a guy, I've learned a lot from Nick Nimmin. I don't know if you guys know who he is. If you don't, you definitely should listen to his podcast. He's been doing this for 10 years too, and his entire channel is on helping people become a better YouTuber. And he will go through and answer questions that people have. He does it every week. He lives in Thailand, but he does it on Saturday mornings. I think it's like 6 a.m. or something like that. Nick Nimmin is his name, yes. And you can learn a ton from him because that's what he does. And there's other people. He's just one. He's the one that I have really enjoyed listening to and probably learned the most from. But he will tell you the same thing I'm telling you. Watch other people's videos. Even if you don't like their personality, just watch them. The people that are popular, they're popular for a reason. Nobody gets 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 views on their videos if their videos suck. They just don't. It doesn't matter how many followers they have. If their videos are horrible, they're horrible. Nimmin, Nimmin. His name's Nick Nimmin. You can find him. He's all over. If you go onto YouTube search and type in Nimmin, Nimmin, you'll see him. And all these podcasts he does are all there for you to listen to. So you can listen to him anytime you want. And it will teach you beginner stuff, right? It'll teach you what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Now, I went months trying to do this all myself and figure this all out. And, I'm the one, sometimes I don't use my own advice. Now, when I was over on TikTok, I used Jetty May, and that's how I got so popular over there, because she told me what to do and I followed her advice. And then I came over here and I thought I already knew how to do all this stuff, right? Oh, it can't be that much harder than TikTok. All I'm doing is making videos, but it is harder and it is different, and they're not anywhere near the same. So you really do have to learn a whole new set of skills. I can take this phone right now and I can make a video, especially if I have Joshua, that will get 4,000 views on TikTok, and it will take me less than a minute to make. I can do that. But I can't do that on here. Just can't do it. It doesn't work that way. You have to, you've got more competition. Is he on Instagram? I don't know if he's on, I know he's on Twitter. I know he's on YouTube. He's on TikTok as well. He's not, but his specialty is YouTube. So Nick Nimmin he's going to be speaking at Vid Summit. And I don't know if you know this, Jetty May, but Vid Summit is in Dallas this year. Sometime in October. So I don't know if you're still there, but that would be a good thing to see. God, I wish I could go. I would love to go to that, but I'm in my apartment now. I'm at the beach. And just so you know, Jetty May, on Friday, I have one of the videos you like coming out. I took a little hiking trip yesterday and I recorded it. So I'm interested to see how it will do, because I think that it's Nimmin, Nimmin. So October is your favorite month? Is it really? Oh, it's funny because when I was growing up, my grandfather had a hazelnut orchard, and September, October was harvest time. So fall was always when I had to work my butt off. Niman, yeah, there you go. I don't know, Jetty May, you're probably too advanced for him now. I don't know. He might be able to help you with some stuff, but I think you're doing pretty good. I think you're doing pretty good. Yep, Niman, that's it. Just go into YouTube, click on the little glass, the search bar, and type in Niman. I guarantee you'll see him. You'll see him all over. He's pretty popular on there. He's also got a thing called, I think it's called Creator Mix, where it's free and you can go in and get songs for your music for your YouTube for nothing. And most places, you have to pay. I mean, I have to pay for mine. I've thought about going on there. I haven't been on there yet, but I want to see what he actually has on there. And, he's got Facebook groups you can join. I think he's probably got some courses. He used to do channel reviews, and I think they might be bringing those back. He's got a brother that also does this, that he goes live with a lot on the weekends, who also very super, his name's D Niman. He's super smart too. These guys are just, and they have guests on sometimes. This last week, they had the guy that actually created Vid Summit on, who has, I don't know, like 28 YouTube channels or something like that. He's got billions of views. I don't know. I forgot his name, but he's super, super big on YouTube. So yeah. Do you guys have any questions for me? You love Halloween? Who are you going to dress up like, Jetty May? Who are you going to dress up like? We got to do another interview too. Kim was the last one I did, actually. Kim, your interview was the last one I did. I was going to have Sasha on tonight, but her email was full and I couldn't get the link to her in time. So we're going to try to do it on Saturday evening. She's another one I really like to interview. We're going to talk about psychedelic mushroom treatment, because she does some of that. And I just like interviewing her. She's another good one that can keep audiences entertained. That's half of the battle, is getting somebody on here that people like to watch. So we're going to do that. And I will probably do another TikTok video and try to get people to want to come on here. The problem I have is people say, yeah, they want to do it, but then when you reach out to them, they don't actually. Hi, Janet. Tonight, I'm just talking about my YouTube journey and things I've learned along the way and mistakes that you can make if you're not careful. So I had an interview. I was just saying, I had an interview scheduled with Sasha, but she couldn't make it on here. So, we tried for a half an hour, and then we found out that her email was full. So it just didn't happen. So I just decided I would pop on here. And the one thing that I haven't really talked about is how I have made it from point A to point B, and, things that I've learned on the way. So, and most of those things in a nutshell are, make sure you watch other people's videos, which is probably the big thing that I did or didn't do, is I didn't pay attention to what other people were doing. I just tried to do it myself. I don't think you need to do a video every day. I think that's a fallacy. A lot of people think when you're first starting that you need to produce a video and put it out there every single day. I think it helps because you're learning as you go, but I don't think it gets you more watch time. And especially now, I can tell you that I'm getting better responses from less videos than I did when I was doing it every day, because just a couple of weeks ago, I was putting videos out every day and I was never getting two that did well, ever. And I think part of that is the videos were competing with each other, but I also think I was rushing through them instead of taking the time. The other things that are important, I think, are making sure there's no distractions when you're taping. I I got up at 4 o'clock this morning because these guys next door are loud and they make a lot of noise. And if I try to do this in the evenings, a lot of times I end up having to retape over and over and over again. Um, I think that your analytics are probably the most important thing. The more time you spend digging into them, the better. If you get a good video that does way better than your other videos, you need to watch it a lot of times and try to figure out why. Why is this video doing better than the rest of my videos? If you get a video that doesn't do well, you want to know why. What did I do in this one that didn't work for me? And I think if you're going to change something, it's always better to change one thing at a time. It's kind of like drugs. If you're a doctor and you have a patient and they're on 12 different drugs, you don't want to take them off 6 and add 3, because if they get better, you don't know why they got better. You don't know if they got better because you removed some of them or if they got better because you added some of them. But if you do it one thing at a time, it's easier to pinpoint what actually caused the change. And it's the same thing with videos. If you try to change too many things at once, you have no idea. And if I change my background and change my sound and change my lighting and change what I'm wearing all at the same time, and the video does great, I have no idea what caused that. If I do all those things and the video tanks, I have no idea why, right? But if I just change one thing at a time, then I have a better idea of what it was. So making small tweaks and then seeing how people respond to them and trying new things. I think that's another thing. I think a lot of creators get into a rut of doing things the same way. And part of that is because the cooking videos, that's funny because I haven't done a cooking video, Jetty May, in forever, except the shorts. I mean, I haven't done a long cooking video in a long time. That's weird that they would just show up. But the ones that are doing the best now are the music ones, the slow ones. I mean, the one that I did has 100 hours of view time, which is unheard of for most of my videos. I mean, I'm super happy about that. But the vegan dish. Okay. That one I made for Caitlin. That one I put a lot of time and energy into. We had all the kids over again this weekend, so that was an interesting time. I don't know, little Joshua was so tired at the end of that. And you guys, I just want to let you know that he starts baseball. His first game is on Sunday, so you're going to be seeing some videos. He's getting a whole lot better at hitting the ball, so I think we're going to see he actually made the traveling team. And I was very nervous that he wasn't going to, but he did. And I think a lot of that is just from him going to the bat and practicing. He's doing well. He's doing well. So the other thing I was trying to say is be willing to experiment. And this is another thing that I personally sort of have a problem with, but I'm trying to pull myself out. And the reason that I have a problem with it is because when I get an idea in my head that I want to try something different, I always worry that I'm going to spend 10 hours making a video and it's going to tank. And it's because I try something different. But what I'm missing in this is, what if I try something different and it goes viral? And then every time I do it, it goes viral. So I think that the chances of coming up with the secret sauce, whatever that might be, depending on whatever your niche is not easy to do. And it may never happen, But if you always do the same thing, you're probably going to get the same result. So you really need to try different things. I saw a doctor today who does all of her videos. I was just watching some just because that's what I've started doing. That's been part of my workflow now. And you never see her at all. All you see is a hand drawing and her talking. So, and she got a lot of followers and her videos do very well. But she is very good at teaching, but she never shows herself. She's in the thumbnail, but when she does her videos, she just draws. It's not her drawing. I think there's actually a app or a computer program. I've seen it. I don't remember what it's called, Sketch Me or something like that, to where you can do this. But she does all of her videos like that, which I thought was interesting. Would I do that? Probably not. But you never know. I could try it once, right? It doesn't hurt. There's other. I was also looking at a different one over the weekend that is like an AI thing, and you type stuff in and you can have other people read it for you, and the voices are soft and soothing and all this, right? And then it will actually put the B-roll in for you, which I thought was pretty cool. But it ended up taking too much time because some of the B-roll I didn't like, and then I had to go in and try to find stuff that would actually work. So I decided not to use it. And all this stuff costs money too. That's the other thing. The other thing I would tell you is when you're first starting out, don't spend thousands of dollars on all these things that you think are going to make your videos go crazy, because it's not going to work. What you need to do is figure out how to make the videos, how to edit the videos. You can, depending on what you have, you can edit. You can do everything on your phone if you want to. You can use CapCut, and you can use a cell phone, and you can make everything that you need to make. You don't need fancy lights. You can do everything with the cell phone if you learn how to do it right. And there's people that do that have thousands and thousands and thousands of views. Is it easy? No. But what I can tell you is buying $20,000 worth of gear is not going to make your videos. It'll make them look better maybe, but if you can't keep people interested, not going to matter, because they're still not going to go anywhere, right? So Josh is good at sports. He is. I'm interested in AI too, although I'm starting to learn that a lot of times you get just scratches on the surface, especially like with medical things. And so if I tell ChatGPT that I want them to write me a video on, I don't know, the dangers of aspirin, it's just going to give me a very basic, it's not going to go into any detail, and it's going to be very surface driven information. So sometimes I'll use it for an outline. In fact, I've got a video coming out on Monday that's about drug allergies that I used it just to write me an outline. And then I actually added a lot of stuff to it just from my personal experience. But it can be good at some things. If you try to just get a script and read it, it sounds scripted. And I think everybody kind of knows that it's too robotic-like. That's the problem with AI, I think, right now. And that might change. It's pretty new technology. So I think it will get better. But I kind of wish I could, at some point, type in what I want to say exactly like I want to say it and have it use my voice when I'm doing B-roll stuff, just because it would save me time, I think, trying to redo things over and over again if I don't get them exactly right. But And that's another thing that I want to tell you guys is don't worry about things being perfect. This is another problem that a lot of people have, especially when they first start. They're scared to go out there. They're scared to send a video out there. They're scared of what their friends might see. They're scared of all these things. If you don't post videos, you're never going to know what works and what doesn't work. And you can spend 10 years trying to make a video that's perfect in your mind that isn't going to be perfect in everybody else's mind. Because the bottom line is it doesn't matter what you think. It matters what the audience thinks. So ask Jetty May if she thought being Elon Musk's wife would have got her millions of views, and she'd probably tell you no. But it probably did. Well, it did, not probably. But, these are ways that you can do things. A lot of it is thinking outside the box and trying things that are trendy, but also interesting, right? And I think that if you can find subjects that people are interested in, no matter what your niche is, that you can ride waves of things that are happening. I mean, even if you're not into politics, if we're going into the election, you could even use some of that with your content, right? It's kind of hard to do with health and wellness, but you can do it with some things. Football around the Super Bowl would be another thing. There's a lot of people that are searching for Super Bowl. There's a lot of people that when the World Series comes on, a lot of people are into baseball, right? If you can work that into your content somehow, which is, with my TikTok videos, hi, Kat. That's why I think they did so well, is because Joshua's Joshua, right? So that's the first thing. He's a little person and people think he's cute. He can run super fast. He's athletic. He's got a great personality. He's got all those things going for him, but he's also playing a sport and he looks different doing it than other kids do. So that seems to draw people in. In fact, believe it or not, I had 3 videos removed today. I went in and looked and people were they took my videos off of here and reposted it. And some of them were getting hundreds of thousands of views, which really sort of annoyed me because it's not their content. They just took it from me. I don't know, Jetty May, you might want to check and see if that's happening to you. But I told them they have to remove it because they don't own that content. I don't want them profiting off of my content. You know what I mean? So I just did that today. I went in there and looked and there was 3 of them and they were all the same video. So those videos do well, but I think the subject matter is important. Even if you're doing gaming content, you can use different, Halloween, like Jetty May was saying, is another good thing that you can do. Does anybody have any questions for me? Because now we've got people in here. There's 5 people in here. I think I know all 5 of you, but if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them or try to. I'm surprised Kat hasn't jumped onto YouTube yet because I really think you should. I think you would do well on here. I think you would get an audience pretty quickly. You just have to define what your audience is and figure out what you wanted to do. But I definitely think in the long term, you would do better on YouTube. The thing about YouTube is there's a lot of front loading, right? You have to learn a lot of things before you actually start making any money, for sure. But once you learn them and you start riding the wave, I think you can do a whole lot better than you can the other apps. So make me mod, please. I thought you were already a mod. How come you're not already a mod? I don't know how to do that. I can ban you. I don't think I can do it from in here. I think it's different than, I think I have to go out I think I have to go on to, because I'm on StreamYard now, Kat. I don't think I can make you a mod from in here. I think I have to go into YouTube to actually make that happen. How do you report or find out who ruins your videos? It's in your, you can put cat in timeout. You could. It's in your analytics. If you go into, the thing about YouTube is it's got a lot more information than the other, way more than TikTok. So there's all kinds of stuff in there, but there's a place that will show you if people are using your content, and you can either have them remove it in 7 days. You can claim, in some cases, you can actually claim the money they make off of it, or you can get them a strike. Now, I don't usually get them a strike, because the only time I would do that is if somebody kept doing it after, if they kept putting the same video up there over and over again, I might do that. But I don't want to give people strikes, because I know how hard it is to do this. And I don't want somebody to lose their account. But the analytics are different in TikTok. It's a whole different world than this. You're going to have a different, you can still learn stuff off your TikTok analytics too, but it's not going to give you the detail, because remember, Google owns YouTube. So they're going to give you everything you need. How do you claim your gifts on here? So your gifts on here come from super chats and super stickers, but you can't even get those until you have, I think you need 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of watch time. And then in order to get monetized completely, you need 4,000 hours of watch time, which at first I didn't think was very much until I started trying to do it. It's a lot. That's a lot of watch time. 4,000 hours takes. How long did it take you, Jetty Mae? You got there a lot faster than I did. It has taken me about 10 months to do it. Pretty close to 10 months exactly. And that's pretty much doing this every day. Spending most of my free time on here. There for a while, I was trying to do TikTok at the same time, but it just became too much, especially with the new job. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So, sometimes you have to decide what you really want, and you have to concentrate on one thing and spend as much time doing that one thing as you possibly can to get better at it. And I think this is one of those things. I think it's super difficult to do this in just a couple hours a day. I think you have to really put your heart and soul into it. That's just how I feel. I'm going to tell you guys a story about what happened yesterday. And I did make a video about this too, but over the weekend, when I had Joshua here, there is a private beach very, very close to here. It's just right down the street. And the people that live over there told me there's a trail that goes down there. So I asked him, I said, hey, let's go down this trail. And he didn't want to do it. He was totally freaked out. He just didn't want to go. So yesterday, when I got off of work, it was beautiful outside. It wasn't windy. It was probably 72 degrees. And I thought, man, this is the perfect time to do this. So I got my flip-flops on, first mistake. And I got my little GoPro camera and my selfie stick thing that I put the GoPro camera on. And I decided I was going to go hiking. So First, I couldn't find the trail, but when I finally found it, and I've got all this on video, it's coming out Friday, so you guys can watch it. Parts of it are kind of funny, but I finally find this path, and it's this wide maybe, and it's super steep. It's like steep, and I've got these flip flops on, and I kept stumbling, And then I get down to where it's probably maybe another 20 feet down and it's almost straight down. And I'm thinking, okay, I know I can get down, but can I get back up? So that was my biggest fear is I'm going to get stuck on this private beach. No one's going to know I'm down there. What if the tide comes in? What are you going to do? Because I mean, it's like a rock wall. It's straight like this. So I decided that I wasn't going to go any further down. And, I just did a little bit of talking on the video. And then I started heading back up this trail and it kind of forked off on this other way. So I took this other trail and in the middle of the woods, there was a couch there and a little campfire that you could tell somebody, I don't know if it was like a homeless person or something that was living there because there was nobody there right at that moment. But, and this is all in the video, you can see it, but there's like all these empty cans and bottles. They weren't beer. It wasn't alcohol. It was like pop cans and stuff, which I thought was super weird. Although they did have a very good view of the ocean from there. But it's like somebody's been hanging out on. Now, who would take a couch? How are you going to get a couch in the middle of the woods? It's like somebody would have had to, I don't even know if one person could have taken it there. I think it would have taken a couple, but I don't know. That was an interesting twist. But then I started thinking, if I would have took Joshua on this trip with me and he would have decided to do it, he would still be asking me who slept on that couch and why the couch was in the middle of the forest. Because that is something that he never would have let go. He would have needed to know who was there and why. So in a way, even though it would have been a better video if he would have been with me, I think, I'm sort of glad that I didn't take him because let me give you an example. One time he wanted to go to Taco Bell. So we were down there and we were waiting for them to get the food and then we were going to bring it back to the house. And this lady was driving a truck and there's a Walmart right across from Taco Bell. So this lady's driving the truck and the cop pulls her over, right? And they ended up in the Walmart parking lot. And he's like, why did the cop pull him over, Dad? And I said, I don't know, maybe she was drunk. Which was not what I should have said was maybe, they were speeding, but I didn't even think about it. I said that. Well, I shouldn't have because for the next day and a half, he wanted to know what happened to her because she was drunk. He wanted to go to the jail to see if she was there. He asked his mom about her. And I bet he asked me 50 or 60 times what happened to the lady that was drinking. When I didn't even know, I just said I wasn't even sure that's what happened to her, right? So he gets these things in his mind and he wants explanations for them. And he never forgets. He never forgets anything. So he still brings it up sometimes when he's down here. Anyway, I don't know how I got off that. I got way off my subject. That's what happens when you guys are in here, I guess. I just, nobody's asking me questions, so I just have to talk. And nobody's watching the debate tonight, right? You guys aren't watching it. I came on while the debate was on because I don't want to watch it either. But I'm here. So if you guys rewatch this live, please tell me what you want me to do lives on in the future. I'm going to try to do one each week. I'm going to do them mostly on health and wellness stuff. I may throw in other things here and there, but I'm going to try to concentrate on what I concentrate on, which is health and wellness. I may pick A drug. I thought about the drug of the week might be good, that maybe the top 200, just go over simple things about the top 200 drugs one at a time, you know, tell people what it's for, what the side effects are, things like that. You're too busy for it, Kat. I know, me too. I don't want to have anything to do with it, really, to be honest with you. But interviews are always going to be my top thing. So if anybody knows anybody that wants to be interviewed on here, I would really love to contact them. There's, like I said, Sasha was supposed to be on here tonight. I think we're going to do it Saturday night. I think she is one of the better people I've ever interviewed, and I think she's going to do very, very well. Most of you guys that are on here now have already been on here and been interviewed on here, but we can always do different subjects. The interviews do well. Most of them do very well. Marissa was here earlier too. She was the first one on here, but she popped off because nobody else showed up in time. So I don't know. I think she said she was having a pump put in or something, but she's always fun to interview. I don't know. I'm looking for people that want to promote themselves even. I mean, I'm not even okay with that. I think it's fine to have somebody come on and promote themselves, because I think sometimes that's the best way to do it, is if you can get somebody that let you promote them for free. Then, I mean, I remember when I first started Sunshine Nutraceuticals, I paid people to go on their podcasts. I think that is how I, first learned to do live stuff. I think that was one of the very first things I did. I did that, and I did a Facebook Live for, actually my audience was in Australia. I had to get up at 1:00 in the morning, and that's probably the scariest experience I've ever had as far as social media goes, because I had no idea what I was doing. I was scared to death. There was a ton of people watching me from Australia that I didn't know. And I was terrified, but I got through it. And from there, it just kind of got easier. But that's the other thing, is if you're scared to go live and you're scared to make videos, the only way you're going to get over the fear is to do it. There is no easy way. You can read every book you want. You can watch other people do it all you want. But until you actually do it, you're never going to get better at it. And pretty soon it just becomes second nature. And I can tell you that when you actually do live streaming, it makes you a whole lot better at interviews. So if you're trying to get a job, it's a whole lot easier to answer questions on interviews if you've been live streaming for 6 months or a year than it is if you haven't, because you develop the ability to just talk about almost anything. And I think the one thing that live streaming does for you is it gives you the ability to talk to nobody good, right? It gives you the ability to just talk even if no one's listening. And once you learn how to do that, you can answer any question. I mean, I'm going to divert a little bit more because I think this is important too, especially if you're trying to interview. I went and saw a professional. One time I really wanted this job, and I paid this lady a whole bunch of money to learn how to interview. That's what the whole thing was about, right? And basically what she told me is you come up with 6 stories. And then using these 6 stories, they can't be any story. It's got to be something that you've done personally. But using these 6 stories, you can answer almost any question. They have these stories they want you to write about certain things. But once you memorize those stories, you can basically skate through almost any interview there is, because there's parts of every single one of those stories that will fit into almost any interview that you will ever go to. And the real secret to the interview is learning how to tell them what they want to hear. That's all you got to do. And it's not quite that easy. You are the monster creation, Kat. You absolutely are. What's your new, is it the new products? It's not Think Pink, right? Something else? Because I see a lot of Think Pink videos that Kat does. I see a lot of Think Pink, but still my favorite thing by far, I have to tell you, Kat, is the Monster High doll. I need to use that clip in a short. In fact, I think I'm going to, I found a website, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it actually turns long form content into short form, right? And I want that clip on a short where you were showing that Monster High doll. I even listened to it in my car, and it just, I don't know why, but there's something about that one little part of that video that cracks me up. So I think that's good, Kat. Good for you. That's awesome. But I'm gonna try to turn that into. I'm gonna try to turn that into a. You need to say good night. Okay, Kim. Have a good night. Me too. Your boyfriend gave you the dolls. I didn't even know you had a boyfriend, Kat, till I started watching the videos. I thought we swore off men for the time being. I got to get off here too. What time is it? It's already 7:30. I've eaten nothing all day today. Today has been one of those days. I got up at 4 this morning, recorded videos, went to work, came home, did a lot of dinking around, didn't get much of anything done. And then I came on here. So it's probably about time that I log off. I got so far off of my topic. So I think the next live will probably be Saturday night. Right now it's scheduled for 7. You guys can see the thumbnail. It's out. The next video will come out on Friday. That will be the one that I was telling you guys about where I did the hiking. And Joshua's first baseball game in his traveling team is Sunday. So I'm sure, hopefully I'll get some good footage for him. And other than that, I hope everybody has a great night and be happy and be healthy. And thanks for coming, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon.